You go to college, you get the degree, you clock your 50 hours a week, and yet you still can't afford groceries. Millions of young Americans are doing exactly what they were told, playing entirely by the rules, and still falling behind. You cannot control the macroeconomy. You can't force rent prices down or stop inflation on your own. But you can build a personal strategy today to stop the bleeding, lock down your debt, and pivot into a career that algorithm updates can't touch. To do this, we need to map it out. Grab a pen, a piece of paper, and your latest credit card statements. Title the page Economic Pivot Plan, and draw a line right down the middle. Label the left side Debt and the right side Career Pivot. Putting these numbers and goals on physical paper takes them out of the abstract. It is the first step in moving from being a passenger in a hostile economy to actively charting your way out of it. Before we fill in the columns, light the threats at the very top of your page. We have to clearly identify the terrain we are operating in so we know exactly what we are fighting against. The first major threat is the housing market. Wall Street private equity firms are buying up entire neighborhoods of single-family starter homes. They convert them into permanent corporate rentals, boxing regular buyers entirely out of the market. The second threat is at the checkout counter. Corporations have used supply chain disruptions as cover to raise prices far beyond their actual costs. They lock in record-breaking profits while you drain your savings just to buy basics. Economists call this greedflation. This chart compares the ratio of an average annual income to median starter home prices. In the 1970s, a house cost roughly 3 times a typical salary. Today, that ratio has reached 8 or 10 times the average income. Acknowledging these rigged macroeconomic rules is critical. When the math shows a 300% increase in the housing-to-income ratio, the old advice to simply save more no longer applies. It frees you to start planning for the reality of the current market. Right now, the American consumer engine is running on a $1 trillion credit card bubble. People aren't swiping plastic to fund luxury vacations. They are using borrowed money to pay for gas, milk, and medicine. To protect yourself, go to the left side of your paper. List every single credit card balance you have. Rank them strictly by their interest rate, putting the highest percentage rate at the very top, working down to the lowest at the bottom. This visual shows the avalanche method. Freeze all non-essential spending. Pay minimums on bottom accounts, throwing every excess dollar at the top card. When it hits 0, avalanche the payment down. Every day this debt sits at 20 or 30% interest, it is effectively a tax on your future labor. A total freeze on new debt is your foundation. Until you cut off the high-interest bleed, no amount of salary increases or career gains will result in lasting wealth. The next step is securing your income. We are in the middle of a white-collar recession. Entry-level coding, copywriting, and data entry roles are disappearing as companies realize a single advanced AI subscription can do the work of a 5-person team. To survive, you need to look at high-income trades. These roles are significantly harder to automate because they require a physical presence and spontaneous problem-solving that digital algorithms cannot currently replicate. We are talking about electrical contracting, HVAC technicians, commercial plumbing, aviation maintenance, and high-level face-to-face sales. These fields are actively growing, heavily understaffed, and pay high wages for specialized labor. Look at this comparison matrix. On the left are the vulnerable digital roles fading out. On the right are the thriving trades. Pick one path from the right side that interests you and write it down in large letters on the right column of your paper. Choosing a career based on physical, real-world utility over digital task execution gives you an immediate strategic shield against the technological disruptions coming over the next decade. Pivoting into a completely new field is intimidating. Break it down. Underneath your chosen career on the right side of the page, write down 3 concrete next steps to acquire those specific skills. Step 1. Research your local union chapters or trade guilds. Organizations like the IBEW are the primary direct gateways into high-income, secure trades. Apply for an apprenticeship to earn a working wage while learning on the job. Alternatively, look into short-term trade certificates at a community college. Both are cost-effective ways to reach journeyman status without taking on 4-year university loans. Choosing a paid apprenticeship over a traditional degree replaces a potential 6-figure debt with several years of immediate, taxable earnings. It shifts the financial burden of training from the worker to the employer. Take a look at your paper. You now have a clear diagnosis of the macro threats against you, a mathematically sound attack list to crush your debt, and a 3-step roadmap into an AI-resistant career. The old American dream, where a degree guaranteed a house, is broken. But this strategic framework provides a path to financial survival. Lock in your commitment today. Drop a comment below with the specific trade or career pivot you wrote on your paper. Let's create some public accountability and discuss the best ways to break into those fields. Success in today's economy means abandoning the default script. You have to actively write your own rules, protect your income, and make yourself economically indispensable.